Hello, truth seekers, welcome to Cruise TV, your #1 YouTube channel that provides you with facts, with zero to very minimal errors. Truth seekers, we went beyond places to stay, including a range of experiences we consider truly exceptional, cruises, flights, restaurants, bars, destinations, along with the deeply personal reasons why we love them. This was the stuff we daydreamed about in lockdown, and a few places we were actually able to visit, all that sustained us in a year of curtailed travel. Here, our favorite hotels and resorts in the world. 1. Fenn Marrakesh, Morocco. Anyone with an enduring crush on the city will recall the Great Riyadh gold rush of 20 years ago. .com boomers and designer downshifters began buying up Marrakesh's crumbling townhouses to rework into boho hotels, chasing the freewheeling 60s Morocco of Talitha Getty and Jimi Hendrix, although results were mixed. Today the standouts can be counted on one hand, or one digit. Fenn, co-owned by Vanessa Branson, sister of Richard, is a cascade of acid-bright spaces that launched with 6 bedrooms in 2004. In its current incarnation, it sprawls across 12 riads and reveals a new rooftop pool. Mingling with scents of jasmine in summer and olive wood smoke in winter, a whiff of insouciance fills the pulse-slowing spa, courtyards of bougainvillea and orange trees, and the 31 head-turning rooms, mid-century modern go to Morocco, finessed by local craftspeople. It feels like the home of a philanthropic collector, which Branson is, thrown open for rock stars in retreat. On the vast roof at the Violet Hour, the bartender stirs preserved lemon gin martinis as the sky darkens over a cityscape spiked with minarets. While Marrakesh gathers more big brand hotels, reassuringly, Fenn pursues its rebel chic streak. It's only Morocco and roll, but we like it. Doubles from $295. 2. Singita Pamushana Lodge, Malilangwe Wildlife Reserve, Zimbabwe. Singita has rightfully earned its stellar reputation for running the slickest safari properties in Africa, and Pamushana is no exception. Insiders choose the untrammeled, biologically diverse reaches of Malilangwe Wildlife Reserve's 321,000 acres over and over again for long, immersive stays and private animal sightings. The terrain here is strikingly different from other destinations in the region. Deep red soil, colossal boulders, 87 documented rock art sites, and forests of ancient baobab trees. Even after several days of driving and walking with the excellent guides, spotting large herds of elephants and buffalo, wild dogs, and big cats, there is never a sense that you've seen it all. Community tours elsewhere in the country can feel a little contrived, but a visit to nearby Kambako Cultural Village is essential. Hands-on and interactive, it's a living museum of Shangaan culture. The lodge's hilltop suites overlook Malilangwe Dam, where boat-based birding and game fishing add to the already long list of activities. Food is modern and sustainably sourced. One of the Malilangwe Trust's initiatives is providing seed funding for small-scale producers of goods, including honey and eggs, which are then bought by Singita's kitchens. It also supports equally visible community and conservation endeavors, from a school feeding scheme to anti-poaching patrols. This is a pioneering property for the future of Zimbabwe. Doubles from $2,400. 3. Londolozi, Sabi Sands, South Africa. This family-owned property is one of the oldest private concessions in the Sabi Sands, still considered the gold standard for safaris in South Africa. Simply put, there is no better place to tick off Africa's most famous species in record time. The high density of leopards to be seen at close quarters is the fact, not fiction. Choosing Londolozi opens up a choice of 5 individually run camps, primely positioned above a stretch of the Sand River, a magnet for all animals, especially in the dry winter months when other water sources on the reserve dry up. The magic ingredient is not just the quality and quantity of the game viewing or the elegance of the accommodation, but the Vati family and their enlightened approach to the healing power of nature and an unwavering legacy of doing good. These days, the charge is led by fourth-generation siblings Bron and Boyd. Suspend any preconceived notions of a typical safari to become hooked on the power of silent, meditative game drives or waking early to squeeze in a yoga class outdoors while elephants splash in the river below. Service appears impromptu, laid back even, but don't be fooled. It's orchestrated with military precision behind the scenes to ensure every minute counts without making anyone feel rushed. A top-notch squad of guides will have the crankiest guest leaping enthusiastically off the four-wheel drive to crouch in the dirt with their Shangan tracker and discuss the freshness of paw prints. Offerings at the Healing House Wellness Center include wilderness walking and ancient forms of sound therapy, while courses to chart your life's true purpose based on animal tracking and the annual self-transformation adventure retreat with Guru Martha Beck add to Londolozi's reputation for putting the soul into safari. Chalets from about $1,000 per person per night. 4. Angama Mara, Great Rift Valley, Kenya. It's hard to imagine how heady the views here are until you flop into one of the Firmob metal armchairs with a medicinal dawa, a Kenyan caipirinha, in hand. This unique location, 985 feet above the Masai Mara's plains, is so extraordinary it brought owner Nikki Fitzgerald and her late husband Steve out of retirement after decades spent running many of Africa's most talked about camps. Swahili for suspended in midair, Angama Mara is a clever distillation of the couple's lifetime experience, understanding what their guests really want. A picnic in the spot where scenes for Out of Africa were filmed, lunch in the kitchen garden, printing the day's best shot in the photography studio, crafting in the beading gallery, or just staying slouched in their seat and staring in awe. The property is split into two camps of 15 glass-fronted tents, balanced on the rim of the valley. At sunrise, hot air balloons float by. As the heat builds, eagles circle on the thermals. It goes without saying that the game viewing is superior. Private access to the Greater Mara Conservancies means that in 10 minutes you're by the river. During migration, the predator action of a wildebeest crossing is less than an hour's drive away, close by East African standards. The fact that the staff village was built with the same attention to detail as the lodge is evidence of a thoughtful approach to taking care of the female strong team so they can take care of the guests. The Angama Foundation's active role in conservation, education, and healthcare, and its support of small businesses, backs this up. There's also a new exclusive mobile camp, providing all the up-close thrills of fly camping but with the elevated food and intuitive service of its sibling. This place will leave you speechless, just like the views. Tents from about $1,280. 5. andBeyond Benguerra Island, Bazaruto Archipelago, Mozambique. The Bazaruto Islands represent the African coast as it once was, authentic, low-key, and empty. Relative inaccessibility until as recently as 5 years ago prevented a luxury hotel scene from springing up. These days, you can fly out of Johannesburg in the morning and be here in time for lunch. There's only a handful of lodges, all of which remain modestly below the tree line, including this longtime favorite on a sheltered stretch of the northwestern shore of Benguerra, the second largest isle in the archipelago. Since Africa Expert andBeyond took over in 2015, with its inimitable safari camp style, this has remained the hippest yet most laid-back hideaway in the area, despite stiff competition from Azura half a mile down the sand. Cool, dark interiors in the 12 thatched roof bungalows meld the region's Arabic-African roots with Portuguese influences, gleaming mahogany four-posters with block-printed bed linen, carved wooden doors, and antique chests. The huts have private pools and a gazebo for dining on prawn curry before retiring to a shaded daybed. Time is deliciously spent kayaking, dhow sailing, deep-sea fishing, on boat trips to the shell-strewn shallows of Pansy Island or a safari drive across the interior, passing freshwater lakes and coastal dunes on the way to a picnic. Snorkeling at reefs such as 2 Mile reveals some of the most diverse, pristine coral and marine life off the continent's coast, as a result of conservation project Oceans Without Borders, which tirelessly addresses the many challenges facing the ecosystem and the communities depending on it. A stay here adds funds to that pot, so the good work can continue. Doubles from about $1,260. 6. Maçakizi, Bodrum, Turkey. In the 1970s, Mick Jagger, Rudolf Nureyev, and their pals flocked to the sleepy fishing village of Turkbuku on the west coast of Turkey, lured by a boho B&B run by flamboyant host Ayla Emiroglu. 30 years later, her son Sahir Erozan had loftier visions, transforming the modest guesthouse into Maçakizi, 74 rooms spread across 4 bougainvillea bright terraces on a sweeping site overlooking an aquamarine bay. Today the whitewashed hangout is a magnet for Istanbul's Swane night owls and well-heeled Europeans. You can see why the buzzing peninsula is often labeled the Saint-Tropez of Turkey. Breakfast, pillow soft sesame pide slathered with honeycomb, is taken late. By midday, rows of beach beds are strewn with Hermes sarongs and everyone seems to know each other. Stealth yachts and teak sailboats anchor for the night so their inhabitants can come ashore to feast on Chef Aret Sahakyan's virtuosic cooking, creamy calamari carbonara and delicate lamb manti, dumplings. It could be just another fro-fro designer resort. Yet Maçakizi is unlike anywhere else because it has the identity, personality, and a twinkle in its eye. This is all to do with the wonderfully charismatic Erozan, who flits between his many friends. Kate Moss is a regular, Cohiba clenched between his teeth, vodka on the rocks clinking. The white and taupe bedrooms are lovely, but most of the action takes place outside, the beach deck, the breezy restaurant, the waterside bar for Bellinis. It has all the signatures you would expect from a cool independent hotel. A boutique stocking local designers, the Maze bashed gold earrings are hard to resist, a bodyism gym, and its own wonderful boat, Haller's 71, a converted 1914 steamliner. Yet more than that, Maçakizi is simply a club you want to be part of. Doubles from about $350. 7. The Nautilus Maldives, Bar Atoll, the Maldives. The goodness of the gold list can be translated in many ways, from remote, rustic ranches to small but perfectly formed city hideaways. And, of course, the hotels that fall into the realm of anything is possible. The Nautilus is one of the latter, a no expense spared, what you want, when you want it retreat. A full-blown escape from reality, where exquisite dinners of Peruvian and Mexican flecked teppanyaki can be eaten on the beach, where baths infused with petals, American beauty style, are drawn for you, where a private butler works like the very best Hollywood booker to fill days with non-stop delights or leave them totally unscripted with nothing to distract from the jade of the water. You'll be hard-pressed to find any straight lines here. The whirl of the Nautilus shell inspires everything from the elliptical curving staircases to the starlit swimming pool, where excellent on-the-house Negroness are poured in the evenings. There are 26 villas, and the overwater ones have a distinct advantage over their land-based counterparts in the theatrical glass flooring, beneath which turtles play tag. Breakfast on a deserted sandbank, a boat ride away, is unforgettable. And for those tempted by activity, a spectacular world lies under the surface, from monochrome manta rays in nearby Hanafaru Bay to dive sites teeming with color. With so much new development threatening the Maldives, and countless glamorous stays, sometimes the well-loved Old Faithful seems the safest bet. But, occasionally, an unfamiliar kid arrives on the block, whispering fresh promises. Doubles from about $2,232. Truth seekers, subscribe for more content like this weekly and don't forget to turn on the notification for daily fact video.